This is great for you to watch with your two other bros as you're chugging down natty lights and trying to find out who is your real bro and who's your side bae.
Can't deal with that.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fat Gay and a Little Straight. I'm Jason and I'm a fat gay.
And I'm David and I'm a little straight. So, are we supposed to fight now or something?
I guess. Ha! We are living in the age of everything superhero movies, and sometimes it's amazing.
And sometimes it's terrible.
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 Terrible. And ultimately, it comes down to the age-old battle. We have Marvel versus DC.
Marvel versus DC.
And the theme of these superheroes is superheroes going at it amongst each other. Whether it's Batman v Superman, or it's Iron Man v Captain America.
Or whether it's Ryan Gosling going down... Oh, wait, that's... So everyone has their favorite, whether they like Marvel or DC.
And it is quite divided. I mean, personally, for me, when it comes to comics, I think DC comics are far superior to Marvel comics.
I like DC because of the character development. There is a lot of character development, but I will say that one of the critiques of DC is that it isn't real. Marvel has a lot of humans, and DC has a lot of superhumans, people that are almost to the point of gods.
Now, with all that being said, one thing that I think everyone is unanimous on is how much better Marvel Studios is than DC Cinematic Universe.
Mainly because I feel like DC is taking itself far too serious in the last decade.
DC has many problems, two of them being Zack Snyder. Fuck you, Snyder.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Zack Snyder. But beyond that, it is absolutely right. They take themselves too self-seriously. You never are going to get the fun that we're getting from the Marvel movies. And even with the fun we get in the Marvel movies, we still get depth. We still get characters we can relate to. And that ultimately is one giant difference between what Marvel Studios has done and DC Studios.
When you're a kid, you love heroes. And Marvel, we remember the heroes, which latches onto us when we're younger. And DC, they have much more memorable villains. But as an adult, villains are quite interesting, and that's why I really latch on to DC Comics, specifically, honestly, for the Joker. He is probably one of the best comic book creations ever done.
Joss Whedon being given the task of the Avengers, with the Russo brothers now helming everything after an incredible Captain America Civil War, you definitely know that Kevin Feige knows what he's doing, he knows his audience, and he knows talent.
With the Russo brothers, I think what they are able to do is make an incredible action movie that is also quiet at the same time.
Which brings me to my next question, David. What is your favorite Marvel film?
Well, there are a lot to choose from, but I have to say my favorite is definitely Guardians of the Galaxy. From a humor standpoint, it is definitely what I look for in a comic book movie. Kind of like Deadpool, I feel like what they latched onto was something, unfortunately, I think is going to be copied a lot in the near future without as much success as those two movies.
So in my opinion, I think every Marvel movie is flawed. I have different issues with different ones, but if I were to pick my favorite movie would be Captain America Winter Soldier. I think the Winter Soldier is a perfectly crafted blockbuster movie that does something new, it does something inventive, it's a political thriller, the action is solid and excellent. Now with all that being said, the reason why we're here today, Captain America Civil War.
First, I do want to say that I don't want to disappoint people who think they're going to walk into a Civil War movie. They are definitely walking into a Captain America Civil War movie.
Now I gotta say, David, that is always what I had originally thought, but there has been some recent reviews that say there's gonna be a lot more action than what you're expecting, a lot more actual war instead of debate. A lot of us were thinking that it would be Captain America Civil Debate. It's going to be intense, the stakes are going to be high. I hope that that's true, but I would not be surprised if it does end up being more secondary. And I do think it deserves to be compared to Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman was loosely based on one of, in my opinion, the best comics ever created, The Dark Knight Returns. Batman v Superman, fucking terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. Now, on the flip side, Civil War, you may disagree with me, but I think is a terrible comic line, and a lot of fans did not like the Civil War comic line.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot because for the first time, really, in a large group of superheroes, they are doing something that's very real, which is they're giving superheroes a kind of mixed conscience that real humans have. A lot of times in comics, there's a little bit of a dark side, and they wrestle with choices, but not in a big way in this one. This is a very large scale, very big political fight that is in the comics.
I think personally the reason why Spider-Man doesn't have Spider-Man's role is because they didn't know that they were going to be able to get the rights to him. But I think they're going to use Black Panther to carry on the Spider-Man role in the comics. And he might actually take, I mean, obviously not verbatim, but a more similar role to the way Black Panther was.
From the comics, just so everyone knows, Black Panther is on the side of Captain America. I am not as big a Spider-Man fan as Jason is. Loves Spider-Man. Spider-Man in the comics in general is the everyman, and they definitely play on that for Civil War in the comics by making him us trying to decide which side they're going to choose. Civil War is very polarizing among Marvel fans who are comic book readers. It wasn't a huge hit amongst all readers, but to be honest with you, comic book fans are very fickle, and they are very quick to attack something they don't like, which is why the movies can have such a difficult time with fans, because we as comic book fans, we feel this need to see exactly from the page to the screen, and when they change something, especially something we love, we feel as though it's a personal attack against us, which it's not. They're just trying to make the best movie they can. Sometimes they succeed, Guardians of the Galaxy. Sometimes they fail, Iron Man 2.
Well, what do you think of the future of Marvel Studios?
I am a little bit worried that there will be a little bit of superhero fatigue, and I'm very excited for Black Panther because it will be our first minority lead, and I am a huge Black Panther fan from the comic books.
I'm interested to see once it starts getting Shakespearean, because I know it has to happen soon. For those who haven't read the comics, Steve Rogers dies in Civil War. Now, I don't think that's going to happen in the movie.
I don't think so either.
I do think it could happen in Infinity War. I'm excited also where we're going with direction. I love the Russo brothers. I love Winter Soldier. I think that they're going to do an excellent job with Civil War, and I'm really excited to see what they do with Infinity War. They realize that they don't know everything. So they actually brought in, for their B director crew, the directors of John Wick, to help them with their action scenes.
There were some action sequences in that film that are just beautiful to watch.
There's one reason why Marvel is the powerhouse. It's Netflix. The Netflix world, cinematic world that Marvel has created. I'm talking Daredevil Season 1, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil Season 2 are by far, no questions asked, the best bit of comic to film adaptation I have gotten from anything.
What Marvel is doing with Netflix on those shows is quite brilliant, and I wish there was a way to inject some of that energy into the films.
Now comes the part of our show that makes us famous. David, what is gay in Civil War?
Definitely the relationship between Bucky and Steve Rogers. There is definitely a camaraderie in Civil War, at least in what I'm reading, that does, at least to gay men, play as if there's more than just friendship there, which obviously there's not. Calm down.
What's straight about it, I think, is actually, this is the bro movie. This is the moment where you gotta find out who your bros are. And you've got Captain America with his bro, Winter Soldier, and then Tony Stark feeling a little broed out.
So that just means I need to go out and get 2 people, so I have 2 bros, because I don't have any.
Thanks everybody for watching another episode of Fat Gay and a Little Straight. Don't forget to like,
subscribe,
comment, Instagram.
He's a fat gay.
And he's a little straight.